Hey guys, I'm Richard Fitzgerald. This is Dubai Works, where we interview the business leaders making a difference in this great city.
That business with scalability was very interesting to me.
I like building something that has legacy.
Welcome back to another week of Dubai Works Business Podcast, episode 100 and something, 17, 18, I'm not sure, so many are now, but we're joined with another founder CEO, Kashif Bhaor. Firstly, today's show is sponsored by Step Food X. People will be very familiar with Step conferences in the region. They've done many physical ones in UAE and in Saudi Arabia, and lots of digital ones and virtual ones as well. Food X is running on the 25th of May. It's next week. It's the first time they've done this. Food industry and food tech is exploding. And there's lots of entrepreneurs and lots of things talking about it. So it's an industry-focused summit. You can find out how to attend. Tickets are really affordable. If you haven't attended a virtual summit yet, I would recommend, before we all return to normality and real-world events, get a ticket to Step Food X, put in Smashy in it to get a 20% discount. And that will take place next week on the 25th, and we'll put some reminders of that up as well. So in today's episode, as I mentioned, we're joined by Kashif Bhaor, who has been in the automotive industry since the beginning of his career. He's worked in marketing with DoBizzle.com, DubaiCars.com, and also been a journalist with YallaMotor.com. With his passion, he founded 86 Club UAE, that's at 86 Club on social media. And during the pandemic, he decided to venture out into the world of startups and create BeSoji. So I'll let him tell us about that company, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the pandemic, and we'll talk about the automotive industry and trends in that space. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in.
It's a pleasure. I'm really excited to be here, and I love the intro. I was quite surprised you mentioned the car club as well.
Yeah. So can you, just to start off, can you tell us a little bit about BeSoji?
Sure. So BeSoji was created initially as a completely different concept. The end goal was the same, but it was created actually in June of 2020. So it's a COVID baby. And BeSoji is, initially we were supposed to be an online bargaining platform, but we needed to ask people for a down payment or a deposit, security deposit, especially because the cars we were selling was export cars. But then we were facing a challenge where people would not trust a new company in Dubai to just give a X amount of deposit. So what we did is in January, we pivoted and we decided that we're going to start car inspections. So the plan for that was that that people don't have a proper way to inspect a car in Dubai when they want to buy a used car. So what we do is we implement tech in our business, and we provide them with a comprehensive car report, including photos and checkpoints, as well as a diagnostic test. So the good thing is that you don't have to leave your house. You just have to book online, tell us where the car is, we coordinate with the seller, and after like maybe 2 hours of booking, you're going to get your inspection. Okay. 2.5 hours.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So I'm getting the picture. So you thought maybe there's an opportunity to resell cars. You had a lot of experience in the automotive industry and online, and then you realize that actually there's another part of this ecosystem that isn't being catered for properly. It's making sure that people don't buy cars that break down the next week, and how you can help with that.
Precisely. So that was the plan actually. Initially we wanted to target international buyers, but then since we didn't have a brand that people would trust, because we were new, what we did is we said, okay, let's start with car inspections. Let's help people abroad and locally to source cars from Dubai, so that they can familiarize with our brand, and then as a next step we would tell them, okay guys, now that we do car inspections, you love our car inspections, we are also helping you to bargain directly with sellers.
Okay.
So this is something that we have planned. And also one more thing is that BeSoji is not just for local consumers, it's also for international consumers who maybe want to buy cars from Dubai. So car dealers Let's say some of our clients are in Netherlands, France, the UK. So especially because of COVID, people can't come down to Dubai to check the cars. So what we do is we give them a comprehensive report on the car, including like photos of every fault, as well as general photos as well.
Okay, interesting. BeSoji means?
So BeSoji actually means be cautious in Nigerian pidgin language.
Okay.
And we came up with that name because our target market with the bargaining platform was Africa.
Okay.
And then once everything just started, we ran with this name.
Okay, brilliant. Cool, love it. Cautious in Nigerian pidgin language. Interesting. Cool. So we can talk a lot about many things that you discuss. I just want to kind of get context in. You know, when you say a bargaining platform, were you thinking that this could be a Dubizzle for cars, another version of it?
So it's quite different from that actually. The plan was to go to car dealers and say, we can help you sell your car. And then we'd have a 15-minute auction, kind of an auction format. But the difference is that it's only 15 minutes and you don't actually see the starting or the buying price of that car. So let's say a car starts at 15,000 dirhams on the auction. So you offer your highest bid. Once we know that X person has, gone up to 50,000 on the price of this car, the car dealer will have his own price as well. So let's say it's 70,000. So now what we do is we then show that price, 70,000, and then we say, okay, whoever wants to bid closest to 70,000 might win this car.
Okay.
So then let's say it stops at 65,000, but not 70,000.
So like an eBay model.
Yeah, so we go to the seller and we say, okay, you asked for 70,000, we're getting 65. Are you interested? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that was the model initially.
Okay, and what do you think of did you have to build a tech website? You mentioned tech. Did you have to build it from scratch? Is there something proprietary there? Or how do you build an auction-based platform?
So it's funny because we actually built the bargaining, I'd like to call it bargaining platform. We built that bargaining platform, but we never actually ran it. We built it from scratch, so it had all the all the features, everything's working, customer side, dealer side, everything is done. It's not really proprietary, but it took I think it took like 6 months to build. Yeah. And a lot of back and forth as usual. And I mean, at the end of it, we didn't use it, so. Yeah,
but it's still there. So now you're really focused on this inspection piece. So I've come across, I can't remember the name, I came across a company who did this inspection. I think they were with one of the startup groups, and I don't think they exist anymore, but they had this idea, and it felt like there was a gap in the market because there's a lot of different peer-to-peer selling of cars. There's a lot of people, there's a transient city, a lot of people looking for bargaining, a lot of cash buyers, and websites and dealers give you some information, and there's a really good RTA system around car servicing, and there's documentation for anyone who's selling by cars. But there's a lot of fraud, and there's a lot of things out there where people are trying to rip you off, are trying to kind of sell you something that they know isn't as good as they're saying it should be. Not accusing anyone directly, although I have had a personal experience, so I know it goes on, right? But so, however, in theory, what you're offering makes sense. I can see the value in it, but why do you think there aren't more of these companies, and why do you think the one that I'm thinking of didn't succeed?
So I'm not sure. So the thing is, in Dubai, generally people, not just Dubai, but all over the world, the amount of time they have or they want to dedicate towards thinking about a service is very small, very slim. So on our website, the way we've modeled it is that we have a very precise, straightforward video which explains what we do, what are the benefits, and we have basically a payment page which guides you to the payment process. As soon as you pay, you get someone contact you within like 5 minutes.
How much do you pay?
So we have two packages. We have 495 and 295. These prices keep changing. Actually, we updated it recently.
Experimenting, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we updated these prices recently, and I think that So yeah, so we've reduced the number of steps that a customer has to take before he books a car. So unfortunately, the automotive industry in Dubai has kind of had it has a bad name in the market. So a lot of people, even though everything's clear on the website, they'd like to call and talk to a person before they actually book. So one of BeSoji's aims is to win back the trust of customers in the automotive market in Dubai and abroad as well. As you mentioned, a lot of people are, have been scammed, a lot of things going on in the market. I mean, it's funny because we do around 80 inspections to 100 inspections a month, and we see a lot of things. So we see,
Like what?
I mean, people bribing us. We see mileages have been changed. That's like one of the most common things.
Yeah.
Because like if a car isn't registered before, you're not gonna know if the mileage has been changed or not.
Yeah.
Even with us,
Even though there's very strict processes in place to stop that out, like the RTA do a pretty good job on this. Yet
They
people still
try.
try it. Yeah.
yeah, they see the thing is, if a car is being imported from abroad, RT will not know what the mileage of that car in, let's say, the US is at. So what they do is they reduce the mileage and then they register the car. So sometimes that shows up in our diagnostic tool. Sometimes we find stickers. And sometimes, actually, a lot of the times, one of the things that we do different is that we do a background check of the car.
Yeah.
So if it's not a GCC spec, or even if it's a GCC spec, we check online to find as much information as we can. So we use like Carfax, we use Bitfax and other services like that to kind of understand.
Yeah. Usually, like the chassis number or whatever, the car has a history.
Yeah.
So there's ways
Yeah.
to find things out.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's interested to see some of the stories that we've faced, we have a Instagram highlight called Horror Stories.
Okay.
And then you click on it and it'll show you like a car looks perfect, looks pristine. And then we found photos of the same car with like a boulder dropped on its roof
Yeah.
in the US.
Yeah.
So they just fix it and they sell it to people in Dubai.
Wow.
So,
They didn't put that in the photos on the website to show off the car.
yeah.
No, not that photo. That's interesting. I might ask one of the Love in Dubai journalists to look at that story and see what they can find.
Definitely.
Be interesting. Fascinating. So 80 to 100 a month. What sort of team do you have? Do you have mechanics who go out and people with experience?
Exactly. So we have a team of 4 right now.
Yeah.
And we
Is it
have
self-funded? Do you raise money?
No, so it's self-funded.
Well done. Yeah.
Thank you. It's self-funded. We actually, initially, it's a funny story because I started inspecting cars myself.
Yeah.
So when BeSoji started and I was going through the MVP phase, everything was ready, the website was ready. I got my first order and I didn't know what to do because I didn't have manpower. So what I did is, one of my friends is a professional mechanic for Dragon Racing in Autodrome. So he works on F1 cars and stuff like that.
Which is Dragon Racing?
So they have supercars and
Yeah,
they
okay.
race on Autodrome. They
Yeah,
travel
yeah.
the world as well.
Yeah,
to
the ones that
race.
make the noise, and not the Dubai 24-hour, not that one.
No, not that one.
Okay, cool. The
So-
supercar ones. Okay.
Yeah, he takes part in a 24-hour race as well.
Yeah. Okay. So
So-
he's a mechanic for those cars. Yeah. So he's one of
Yeah.
the pick guys to change the tires really fast.
Yeah, and fix the cars later as well.
Okay. Cool. Nice.
So yeah, so I called him and I was like, please, I need to inspect this car. I don't know what to do. Like, I do have some experience in inspecting cars,
But
but
you
just
haven't
for
necessarily
myself.
worked in a showroom like Dubizzle.com, DubaiCars.com, Yellow Motor. They're marketing. That's publishing sites. You haven't
Yeah.
been hands-on selling cars with a wrench and stuff and then the mechanic.
So I have my own car club and I have my own car,
Yeah.
the GT86. So there's a lot of modifications on that car which I've done,
Okay.
especially if there's some noise in the car and I don't know what's wrong with it, so I have to diagnose it myself.
Yeah, so you know
So-
your way around a car. You're kind of
Yeah.
like an enthusiast, or you're kind of self-taught as well.
Yeah, I mean, 86 Club is like 5 years old. People know me, and I often get calls like, "Hey, this happened to my car. What should I do?" and this is way before BeSoji. So
okay, so forgive my ignorance. So GT86 is the model, the year of the is the GT is that the Nissan?
No, it's a Toyota.
Okay.
It's a Toyota GT86. It's
Okay.
a compact sports car.
Okay.
And the 86 is actually the ratio of its engine.
Yeah.
So that's why it's 86. It's actually not 86. It's 86. Yeah.
Okay,
It's,
so 86 is the model spec. It's the engine side. It's the engine spec.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Engine ratio of the pistons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So are there many people who have that car, and are they members? How many people are in the 86 club?
So we have 600 right now.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a mix of active and inactive people.
Okay.
And
you have drives and you have events, and you just kind of you share stories, and it's a members club basically.
Yeah, we try to make it for everyone. So it has a social aspect. It has a drive aspect. It has a professional racing aspect as well.
Yeah.
So if we do an event, we're not going to get 600 people on our event. It's going to be people like different things. So we have a segment for people who like drives. So the drive guys will show up. So in every event, we have different people joining us.
Is that the car that you drive around the city? Did you drive here today in that car?
I did not.
No,
I didn't do it. I didn't drive in that today.
Is it a collector's car, or are they cars that people have as hobbies? Second car.
It's a hobbyist's car.
Yeah.
The previous model, which was the 1986 86, was
okay, that's not confusing at all.
is a collector's car right now.
Yeah.
And since this car launched, that car has gained value.
Okay.
By quite a bit. Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. What does it compete with? What's the competitor in the sports car?
So it competes with like Mazda MX-5.
Okay, fine.
And I think you can say 350Z, Nissan 350Z.
Yeah. That was the first car I had in Dubai, 370Z.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a good car as well.
Yeah, I got rid of it after a year or two. Got sensible. But very nice car, very nice models. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, and now I know the Toyota one. It's similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should look it up actually.
Yeah. Cool. Good. Interesting. I'm always fascinated about these member clubs in Dubai, because it's not just the one that you have, but there's other ones. There's other community-based. There might be a Porsche community club and things like that, and it's very interesting for car buyers to be part of that community, because the ones that want to be more involved and have more of a passion for it.
Yeah, I think these clubs are really helping people to get the most out of their cars. Like a lot of people who join our club, they're like, oh, after let's say a performance event like a drift or an autocross, they're like, I did not know my car could do that.
Yeah, interesting.
And a lot of people are scared as well, like, oh, I'm going to break my car if it's like, no, nothing's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know a bit about that. The mechanic helped you. You somehow got through that first inspection, and then you took it from there and you started growing the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he helped me with the first one. He helped me with the first 3 actually, and then I started doing it myself. So I started learning, researching. One of my friends has a garage. I used to spend some time there learning as well, and then I'd start doing the inspections myself.
Yeah.
So I've probably done like around 30 inspections myself, and then I was able to hire some people. So I moved on to that. Yeah.
How do you get customers?
My background's marketing, so I've been marketing on different platforms. I think the best conversion is social media, Instagram, Google Ads. We're on Google Ads as well. We're on Dubizzle Campaign Manager. We advertise on Dubizzle as well. And then we try to, it's funny because a lot of people are referral customers.
Yeah, word of mouth, yeah.
Yeah, so our referral rate is around 3 out of 10, 30%.
Or have you built a referral commission model, or is it more word of mouth?
It's organic,
yeah.
Yeah, so
and what did you say? Sorry, 30?
3 out of 10 customers are referral customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. it's impressive to do something organic like that in the business, and not necessary, because a lot of people, might think of Dubizzle or an eBay or a marketplace for cars, and they might try and build. And as you probably have experienced, that it's very hard to get product market fit with a tech product.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people have tried to start competing with these guys.
Yeah.
But first of all, the market is reached maturity stage. So there isn't much you're going to do. And if you notice, these companies are also expanding into new avenues for income as well. So like Dubizzle has started Dubizzle Pro, Dubi Cars has started Export Safe. So everyone's trying to move away or not really focus on the
trying to add a layer of service for diversified revenue and build more products, try and kind of upsell their current customers.
Yeah, and try to be innovative as well.
Yeah.
Because classifieds, the stereotype about classifieds are they're boring.
Yeah.
So they're trying to change that.
Yeah. And what do you think, do you have car dealerships, and there's a lot of very established and very well run automotive companies in the UAE. Can they refer you, or how do they work with companies who want to validate their cars? Obviously they've already done the check if they're selling it.
So we have two sides. We have B2B and B2C, right? The thing is, if a car dealer or a car OEM has inspected a car and he tells the customer that the car is in a good condition. Sorry?
OEM stands for?
It basically means the dealership.
Yeah.
So the agency, the official agency.
Yeah. I know it from the marketing. All the group automotive companies call them OEMs. But I never know what to stand for it. But okay.
Yeah, the agencies.
Yeah.
So these guys,
dealership,
the thing is that these guys might want to resell a car because a lot of them are in used cars as well. But the point is that if they tell the customer that this car is clean,
verification.
they're not going to believe them.
Yeah.
So you need third-party verification.
Yeah.
So in our business, we have two aspects. We have B2B and B2C. So for example, soon we're going to officially work with Copart. Copart is the second biggest auction in the world. So you can actually book an inspection at their website.
Yeah.
So that way we can send our team, we can inspect the car, give you the report, and then you can decide if you want to bid on that car or not.
Okay. So you are moving it back into that bidding space, that kind of bargaining space. You're trying to offer the sell as well. But what you're not doing is potentially turning your inspection into a digital inspection. You're not building an app that's got augmented reality, scanning a car, producing a report in real time, and turning your staff into robots. You're not doing that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You're more why the enthusiasm for, or why the product strategy to go back into the bargaining auction base?
So I think again, the issue is that people in the market in Dubai and abroad have lost faith in Dubai dealers. Simple as that. And I'd like to win back their trust. So Dubai is one of the largest exporters of cars in the world. And
why is that? Why is that historically?
Because of the strategic location of Dubai. And also because of the laws. So like, let's say if you want to import a car from a Japanese auction, you can't do that because you need to have a company in Japan, a showroom, and then you buy it from the auction. So it's only B2B auctions. So what people in Dubai do is they buy the car. So they have a showroom in Japan. They buy the car, bring it to Dubai, and then they ship it abroad as well.
Okay.
So that's one reason. Second reason is taxes. There are no export taxes. I don't really understand
that. You need to have a showroom in Japan, but they do have a showroom and they still bring it here.
No, I mean, if, for example, someone in Nigeria wants to buy
an auction in Japan,
a car from Japan,
it has to come through Dubai.
Yeah, why? It doesn't have to come through Dubai, but what happens is they can't buy directly from Japan.
Why not?
Because that Nigerian client has to have a showroom in Japan.
But okay, so from a showroom in Japan, okay, but if that Nigerian client needs a business in Dubai, or they can just route it through Dubai?
So they route it through Dubai.
Okay.
So what happens is, let's say it's a niche, it's a market niche. So let's say I want to enter the car dealer industry. What I do is I focus on Japanese cars. I open a showroom in Japan and I ship the car from the auction to Dubai. Sometimes I can even ship it directly to Nigeria.
Okay.
But the thing is, if I bring it to Dubai, now I'm central. So I can send it anywhere based on where the customer is.
Okay.
So that's what they do. They import it to Dubai and then they send it to the Nigerian clients.
Okay.
Now, a lot of these people in Nigeria, they can't afford to open a showroom in Japan, you know. So that's basically.
Are there import and export car tariffs on those cars?
No. So
Okay. That's why it's
it's
attractive. Yeah.
it's actually quite interesting because there's a rule that if you have a showroom in Japan and you export the car out of Japan, you actually get some money back. You
Okay.
get a rebate.
Okay.
So you make twice the money.
So they incentivize sort of exports in the country, just smart
Exactly.
kind of fiscal policy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if I sell it to a client, I'm making a profit from him as well as I'm getting a rebate from the government as well.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. So kind of taking on that, and I don't fully understand it, but I get it in your context. So when I hear of a lot of people, there's a, you call it BeSoji, it's Nigerian pigeon, but there is a history and you might have mentioned when I asked at the start that you wanted to do this in Africa, but there are people who do see Nigeria as a market. There are also people who see Egypt as a market for bringing in cars from Germany or etc. Why is that, and how does that come about? Is that the same as everywhere in the world, or is it that there's more sort of related to North Africa and Nigeria?
So the thing is, Nigeria and especially Africa, let's talk about Africa. Africa specifically is the largest used car importer in the world.
Okay.
So they have an upcoming middle class, which didn't exist before.
Okay.
So now that people are making more money, they're getting jobs, they need cars, and the infrastructure is getting better as well.
Yeah.
But they don't have cars, so they tend to import from different countries.
Okay, because there isn't a local manufacturer in many of the countries.
Exactly.
Or any. Is there one? Is there an African car?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No. So
nothing that we'd know of mainstream anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they do is they import cars from Dubai. Now you have a good point that people, because of globalization, shipping becoming cheaper, and accessibility as well, instead of buying from Dubai, now what they're doing is they're importing from the source directly, which is the auction houses in America, the showrooms in America, same thing in Japan. So what's happened in Japan is that there are companies who have opened up who are Japanese and they don't hold any cars. So you just pay them a fee of X amount and they'll buy a car for you from the auction and ship it directly to Nigeria.
Like drop shipping, but for the car world.
Exactly. Exactly. So
okay, so they might have a transit sort of place, like they might have a showroom or something. Or
exactly.
They don't own the car. They don't hold on to the car. They're not a dealership. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a middleman. It's really interesting. Yeah.
So one more thing is that as for our smart bargaining platform, we've left that to like way later. We're not sure if we want to do that because obviously right now it doesn't make sense. But right now what we want to provide customers is a good user experience when buying a car. So soon you'll find the entire process of buying a car on our platform. So whether you want to find a car, we have a service called Buy a Car for Me. So we can actually find you a car and we give you the report of that car and we recommend to buy the car. So you can do that, and then we do the insurance for you. We have best price guaranteed on insurance. We give you service contracts and extended warranties on the car. We already have strategic partners. We're already providing the service, but we haven't focused our marketing efforts on this yet.
Okay, interesting. Fair enough. Yeah, there's lots of other questions that I'm thinking of in terms of the different sort of ecosystem, like the trends in the automotive space. There are, there's the kind of self-driving cars. There's autonomous vehicles, self-driving cars. There's the green electric vehicles and things like that. What's your kind of view of these trends and the adoption in the UAE?
So in UAE, I think it's a slow process. It's going to take a very long time. If you talk about electric vehicles, yes, definitely there's going to be a huge change in the type of cars people buy, especially because the government is incentivizing it, which is a good thing. But then for our business, it's also a good thing because then we don't have to inspect a machine. We have to inspect the other components of it as well as the batteries. So once it becomes mainstream, we're going to find tools and diagnostic equipment to diagnose the condition of the battery.
Okay.
So our job is going to be easier as well.
Okay.
But then obviously there's other parts to a car.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that whole kind of smart mobility piece, especially around batteries and the new companies that are emerging in this space, in terms of charging and in terms of different things like that, you're kind of you're prepared for that trend shift.
Yeah, definitely. We've already done some electric cars.
Yeah.
We've done Teslas. We've also done some supercars. So I think we're quite confident with that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and what about this, again, in the kind of smart mobility space, but what about the electric scooters? What about, I'm looking for the right terminology, but the car sharing, the subscription models, the non-ownership piece? Like, is that something that you can cater towards?
So I didn't really think about that, but I think that this is something that is not fully going to be implemented into Dubai anytime soon.
Which part?
Electric scooters, and not owning a car.
But there's e-car. There's lots of kind of car sharing. It's almost like fleet management. They will have a lot of. You could service them in the B2B space. Yeah. But there are apps now like You Drive that people can take the car for a few days and not own it. And now I know that some major international brands are looking. German, I won't say which one, are looking to do subscription rollout of and do it in the UAE only. They haven't done it in any other markets. And Elon Musk tweeted the other day that he's going to have a subscription model for Tesla. So it won't be necessarily buying it. You'll be able to subscribe to it and have it at your beck and call whenever you need it.
I mean, that's pretty cool, but you have to consider that there's a lot of people who are car enthusiasts. It's always much cheaper to own a car because of the residual value. So once you own it, you're going to sell it one day as well, so you're going to get your money back. And supercars as well.
Major depreciation.
Yeah, major depreciation, but I've done the calculation.
You can make it profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that, as well as even enthusiasts, supercar owners, there's a lot of people who are probably they're interested in owning a car because they're more they feel like they can keep the car, they can rely on that car, and there's a preference because these subscription models, they have a limited number of cars, and it's a great service for people who don't mind what type of, they're not like us, we want to drive this specific car, it should have a driver's experience or it should have XYZ. Definitely is the future, but it's not the present.
Yeah. And
I think by that time there would be other avenues for us as well, and we're already planning on moving to different markets, so we're expanding to Saudi Arabia next. So I think it's just
it's a huge market for
it's a huge market,
especially in the automotive space, and also in the it needs other companies and services to help the sort of dealership experience and that sort of thing.
Exactly. And I mean, let's say Dubai tomorrow has 0 people driving self-owned cars.
Okay, which it won't.
Yeah.
You don't think so? I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, there you have the entire world.
Yeah.
So we're providing the entire world the service of car inspection.
With 4 people on the ground in the UAE.
Yeah, for now.
But you did start during COVID. A lot of this stuff is done digitally. You probably, with the marketing background and working with these platforms, you probably have a good grasp of digital. How much of it is physical? Obviously the inspection, but how much? Where is your company based? What license do you have? Do you guys work remote? Are you on the go? Are you sitting in the office every day?
So we are registered with In5 Tech.
Yeah, the one in Knowledge Village as part of the TCOM group. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And we don't have an inspection center as of now, but soon I'll be discussing with In5 to give us the graduation program. So they have a graduation where we can get our own warehouse and we can have our own offices there as well. So we'd want one car lift, because a lot of people are so happy with our service that they're saying that, okay, whatever issues the car has, minor or major, I'll buy it, I want to get it fixed from you guys. So we're not doing that right now, So that's something that we're working on.
Maybe your
And
friend who's working as a mechanic for the Dragon cars will have to join you full time.
yeah, that would be great actually.
How hard is it to find a good mechanic for cars?
The problem is you can find a ton of good mechanics, but they don't stay.
Yeah, why not?
Because money is not the only motivator,
Yeah,
you know. So they have certain demands that you will fulfill, and then at some point they'll decide that, you know, they found a better opportunity, or, you know, the work's not something they want to do.
yeah,
Because our business nature is a bit different as well. So you're not working inside a garage or a workshop. The person's traveling everywhere, going to different places in
Yeah.
UAE. So, you know, so then it depends on how. So, but the good thing is right now all our employees have stayed with us.
yeah.
No one has ever left. We're
Good.
very happy, and
Yeah.
I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah, and I think again, if you're breaking the mold in terms of getting people to trust the automotive industry more, you can also break the molds in terms of retention and happiness of employees and companies. Like, it's not a rule that they have to leave.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
true.
but you know, I was just thinking while we were talking that, you know, we have seen innovations within the mobility space in the UAE. Everyone will have known of Kafu. They've done an incredible job at branding and delivering fuel wherever we go. And they've obviously, that group has moved into another category, another sector as well in real estate. But going back to what they do, you know, if they've got the kind of app downloads and the trust with the customer, then, you know, potentially they could offer this service on top of other services. Is that something that you think that they will do, and is that something that you've thought about?
So with Kafu, I didn't really consider them because their business nature is more of
Someone who's got a car who's
yeah,
filling
someone
it up,
who's got
not
a
selling
car.
it.
Exactly.
And not a buyer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and they're an app. It's good for publicity, but it's not really with their business model, and I'm sure they would say the same thing. You know, but a lot of people also tell us, oh, you should build an app. I'm like, look, every service doesn't need an app. I think an app should be for something that you use at least weekly, right? So like fueling up makes sense, but for us, apps don't make sense. So
why do you think that? Why weekly? Why do you think it's about frequency? Because you come back to it.
yeah, because
But I don't use, we don't kind of book flights weekly, or maybe we do.
so that makes sense as well. But you know, the thing is that they always have something that there's value in it. So they have that brand and they say, okay, we're going to provide XYZ, and it's like kind of a B2C product where it's entertainment as well.
Yeah.
So like if you open their app and they're scrolling, they can see the new locations, they can see the new packages and stuff like that. But with our service, it's one specific service. And I think in the long term, when we expand to having a garage and doing services, extended warranties and stuff like that, definitely we'll have an app. Because you know, what's better than having an app for your car and knowing exactly what's happened to it.
Yeah.
But right now, as of now, I don't think it makes sense.
No. Do you take payments online?
Yes, we only take payments online.
What payment gateway did you use?
So we use PayLink. PayLink by
I
Checkout.
don't know that one. Oh, Checkout. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's interesting. We should always ask that question, because it's one of the main things in UAE for startups to do an audit and to see which do they use one of the kind of marketplace ones, or do they use the kind of proper acquiring bank payment gateway, and that. Yeah.
So I'd recommend Stripe as well, because Stripe's in Dubai now.
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same price.
Same thing as Checkout, just
yeah.
Irish owned, so better quality. I'm joking. Yeah. Where did you grow up?
I'm born in Dubai.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, have you done business in Saudi?
I haven't, but my family has.
Okay, so you're confident that you can.
This is the thing about me. I don't know what the result is gonna be. I just dive in.
Yeah.
And then I just deal with it.
But what about the other Emirates? What about Abu Dhabi and Sharjah?
We are in all the Emirates except Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Because of the COVID test, and it's quite expensive. Hopefully that gets better we're going to move into Abu Dhabi as well.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So you grew up in Dubai. You want to do global business, but you're looking at this region. Are you optimistic around the region? Do you think, do you think this region is going to emerge as an economy?
Definitely. I think, obviously everyone knows the next market is Saudi for the automotive. Everyone's moving there. I saw Love in Saudi board outside as well with you guys.
Yeah, nearly 4 years there now, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Early first mover advantage.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I've been considering Saudi and Oman because a lot of cars get exported there.
Okay.
And the only challenge is that it's so vast. It's not like Dubai, like a small city. It's massive.
Country. Yeah.
So we'll have to start by regions.
Yeah, but you can have foreign ownership there. You can kind of, the regional thing is interesting as well to approach it in that way. But that's interesting. Technical question. So I've been reading a lot about microchip shortages and things like that. And somehow that has a knock-on effect in terms of supply of cars since the pandemic. And that the automotive sector in general in the UAE is and globally is struggling. A lot of the automotive companies' stock prices are very low. Even Tesla's dropped this year. But do you see that in buying and selling? Do you see are people buying and selling as many cars this year as last year or the year before?
If you talk about used cars have been growing exponentially every year.
Okay.
Especially starting 3 years ago. Because there's like too many new cars now in the market, which have then converted into used cars. So just a number, for every one brand new car sold, there are 3 used cars sold in Dubai.
Okay.
So I think that, yes, I mean, right now all the markets are down. If you're following crypto, you know what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So
slight correction. Still massively up this year, but yeah.
It's not really correction. It's dropped 45% in a day. So this is the best time to buy crypto.
It's a correction. No, I get you, but it's up. It's up 250% in the last 12 months.
That's true.
So yeah,
that's true. So yeah, I mean, the markets are kind of going through a correction phase. I agree, and this is something that would always happen. But if you talk from a micro perspective, the change of ownership of cars, especially used cars, is growing. It's not growing as much as, like, let's say last year or the year before, but it's definitely growing steadily.
Interesting. Are we seeing any other innovative offerings in terms of wholesale car companies, like an auction base? Because my friend has dealerships in Ireland, and they're doing auction-based kind of selling in terms of in a showroom space. Are we seeing any of that here, or have I missed it?
It's happening, but it's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's strictly B2B, so they don't really share it with people who are not their target customer.
Yeah.
But there are a few companies, but most of them are being exported abroad.
Yeah.
Not locally.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not selling it locally.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. Well, really good to chat to you. Been a fascinating conversation. Good to talk all things automotive.
Pleasure's mine.
Yeah, lovely to know about BeSoji, and good to hear of a company in this space coming out of In5.
Thank you so much. And really appreciate you guys bringing me here, and I love what you guys are doing.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing your story. And yeah, best of luck in the future, and hopefully we'll keep in touch. And yeah, so if anyone's thinking of buying a car, they just jump on to besoji.com.
Yeah, it's besoji.com, besoji.com. On top, you can see request car inspection.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having me. Cool. Take care.
Thank you.